Ladies and gentlemen, K Kim here. Welcome to the daily update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. Market is up, no, down slightly, about 0.3% there for the day on the S&P. Pretty much across the board, we're down about 0.5% across the board, right? We got some indices down a little lower, some indices hanging around 0.3 there. Banks is flat towards the end of the day, but we got the small caps, and the Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, they're all down about 0.5% or so. So pretty much today's action is we didn't see a huge development, right? We did see initially a gap down here, right? That's the first hour we saw a gap down, but you can see that the buyers defended the level, that 318, 319 level there. And that's the second hour. We came down a little bit. Again, buyers defended that level. Third hour came down again. That's where you see that lower wick there. So you can see that those dips were getting bought. Fourth hour, we pushed a little bit, but was not able to break above that today's range, that resistance level there. Fifth hour, it looks like some selling there, but then again, some dip buying activities, or at least we held that level, that intraday support level there. And then a sixth hour, the last hour, we did see some buying activities throughout the day. We initially pushed higher, I think towards the last 20 minutes or so of the market, and then filled the gap a little bit more, but was not able to fill that gap entirety of it. So the gap was not filled in entirely, and so there's a little bit of bearish connotation going into tomorrow. So there's a couple things that buyers can do. Looking at things kind of a micro term perspective, just looking at this price action here, pretty much we gapped down and pretty much we've been hanging around all day today. So, but again, this gap still remains open. That's going to act as resistance. Either buyers gap it up tomorrow and then free itself from this resistance area and then finally make a run to the upside. If not, this gap right here, that resistance of 321, 322 is going to act as short-term resistance. We may continue to fade, if we don't see a gap up. If we do just go up and fill it, right, it's going to act as short-term resistance at the time, and we may fall back also. So the best case scenario for the buyers for tomorrow will be gapping up above 322. It needs to gap above 322. Then I think at that point, buyers can finally make a run to the upside. If not, if we get filled, if we start to fall back, I think at that point, bears going to try to at least retest that short-term moving average, at least the short-term at 318.89, and then we got the short-term moving average just hovering beneath that area, about 318 there. So and then we got the next level of support at about 317. That's kind of a midpoint here, from here to here, right? From the peak and the low, that's about midpoint. If you put a Fibonacci here and here, you'll find that this vicinity is going to be about 50% retracement. And many times that's also the level of support. So we got the support at 318, 319. Just underneath it, we got 318 short-term moving average support there, and then 317. So those are the levels you want to look at. So going into tomorrow, I think our posture going into tomorrow should be overall bullish, but with the short-term, micro-term bearish connotation, just because this gap was not filled completely today. Let's check out that oscillator real quick here. So the oscillator also flipped to the downside. Yesterday we talked about, buyers were not quite tired yet, and many times after the higher lows cultivation on the oscillator, they usually go all the way back up to retest that overbought level. But I think this time around, buyers are not fully utilized the energy they had left. I think that gap down kind of made this oscillator come back down here. So now we have the cross back down. So that gives us A little bit of a short-term, micro-term bearish connotation. But overall, I still want to label this market. I still want to say benefit of the doubt goes to the buyers, despite the fact that we do have the short-term cross because of this. I'm kind of putting a lot of weight on this where the oscillator is cultivating higher lows here. So, tomorrow, I think I will give it short-term. I'll give it still. I think yesterday I gave it I gave it bullish yesterday, but with this move, with the oscillator still, or not the oscillator, the gap still remains open. We got the oscillator cross back down. I want to give it not bullish, not bearish, but neutral. Just looking at the overall picture. Just looking at this oscillator. So we got a little bit of discrepancies here. You got that oscillator pulling back, and then price staying up, holding up. So we have a little bit of conflicting information, because definitely, I mean, you can even look at this as potentially a bull flagging pattern, but you never know with these type of patterns. It can break up to the upside or it can break down to the downside. Either way, scenario is possible in this kind of a short-term flagging or pennant or consolidation or continuation patterns, right? So I want to give it neutral going into tomorrow. What buyers need to do is obviously gap it up. Just like how, yesterday was pretty bullish sentiment. We didn't see any kind of, you see that it was pretty screaming bullish as far as the oscillator is concerned. Last time we saw any kind of a signal like that, usually they bring it all the way back up. And usually we see another bullish rally, right? We didn't see that. So we, by the bears gapping it down today, we kind of kill that momentum. So same logic applies for the buyers. If you want to kill this momentum and you want to see this thing getting right back up here, they must gap it up. I think gapping it up will be the best case scenario. Just going up, filling this gap will act as resistance in this vicinity here, right here, 322, 323, and we will see some, micro-term pullback at that time. So right now, the oscillator's pulling back. We may see this thing coming back down here and hitting that resistance potentially before going higher. So, but then again, we see these levels where price is holding up, right? So this is a time that I want to still give overall benefit of the doubt to the buyers, right? With short to micro term connotation, it's just because we got that, oscillator pull, curling down with a little bit of bearish selling pressure. Does that make sense? So let's say neutral going into tomorrow, and we'll probably get a better idea first couple of hours of trading tomorrow. I'll tweet things out when I see certain things, developing, and we'll go from there, right? So you guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.